Sure. Well, economists were anticipating that as many as 8.3 million jobs would be lost in the month of May. Instead, the economy added 2.5 million jobs. And rather than sending unemployment higher, that actually pulled the unemployment rate down to 13.3%. Now, if you think about this in the context of where we are, where we're going, and where we've been, the unemployment rate back in January and February was about 3.5%. So we are very elevated in terms of joblessness in this country from where we were. The good news is that the rehiring, which many economists and frankly everybody in the country has been wondering about, when would that begin? It started much earlier than many had forecast, and as a result, these reopenings appear to be bringing workers back into the workforce in significant numbers. The most important thing going forward will be to see that trend continue, because as anybody who's followed along, and probably people out there know who have been claiming unemployment insurance, there are still millions of Americans who are out of work and hoping that the job that they left, whether they were furloughed or let go because of the pandemic, will call them back. Sure. Well, if we were to see exactly what we saw this month, it would take many more months and into next year before we would get to those levels. Most economists are predicting, and of course, you can say, well, what's the use of the economists and their predictions when they got it so wrong at this point? But most economists are predicting that at the end of this year, we will still likely see double-digit unemployment. And part of the significant question here is where the jobs do come back. So for example, if you look at a place like leisure and hospitality, which added 1.2 million jobs in May, leisure and hospitality in April and March lost 8.2 million jobs. So that still has a long way to go. And as these reopenings happen, economists are going to be looking very carefully to see not just the choices that businesses are making, are they bringing people back, but also how are we behaving as consumers? Are we inclined to go out to eat? Are we inclined to spend money at retail stores? Or are we thinking instead more nervously, more anxiously, given what we've seen from the economy these last few months, and also perhaps because of health considerations? Well, I think when you look at the market is trying to forecast what the future holds. And if you were to look at the market today, you would say this market believes that 12 months from now, the economy will largely be recovered. Now, I would caution that the stock market in 2008, 2009, and in previous recessions, what we have seen is a recovery in the market that moves a lot faster than a full recovery in jobs. And frankly, if you look back at the last 3 major recessions, you may have heard this terminology, a jobless recovery. It is possible for companies to recover, even for the full economy to appear to have recovered, but for not all of the jobs to come back. And I think for most people out there, when you think about how the economy is behaving, you might look at your 401k. You're also going to look at your paycheck. Is there more money in it? And also, do you have a job? These are really important questions that are going to drive these conversations going forward, and especially in the midst of a presidential election.